This is Seme border, one of Nigeria's crucial economic corridors and a transit point to many West African countries. Dry and a shadow of itself, the current situation at the border is a product of government policies and transnational trade agreements. The implications are widespread, but on this episode of the program, we focus on how this is affecting the communities around. Welcome to Community Report. I am Badagry Ido. On our visit to the border area, we spoke with indigenes of nearby communities, a traditional head.
No fighting. Land itself day where we go put. If the government, if he remember us.
Officials of the Customs Service.
Revenue generated from Seme border here used to be in the neighborhood of 22 billion annually.
Licensed agents.
Everything is down presently. We are doing nothing. Had it been like before, you won't even have me to talk to. Inbox.
And eventually joined an anti-smuggling surveillance operation. When the border was shut in 2019, all transnational trade along the corridor was brought to a halt. Nigeria exported 576.59 billion naira worth of goods to the ECOWAS region in 2016, increasing to 782.65 billion naira in 2017, and then 1.04 trillion naira in 2018. The growth continued and reached its peak in 2019 when it became 2.2 trillion naira by 2020. Exports to ECOWAS in the first 3 months of 2019 were 300 billion naira and declined to 217 billion naira in the second quarter. The border was shut that same year. In 2020, former President Muhammadu Buhari ordered the immediate reopening of 4 land borders, including Seme border. But the ban on vehicle importation of major business at the border stands. The customs cleared up to 8,419 imported vehicles between January and March 2015. And that's an idea of what used to be. What effect does this policy of government have on local economy? How are the communities around the border coping? The border was reopened in December 2022, 5 months after the Nigerian Customs says it cleared 4,438 trucks with various goods. The border had more inward and outward flow before its closure. With the ban on vehicle importation and some other stringent government policies, it has obviously been a slow year for the government and individuals operating at the border. Dera Nadi oversees the activities of the customs here. He speaks about the importance of the corridor to transnational trade.
The Seme Area Command of the Nigerian Customs Service was carved out of the present Tinkan Port Command. And it is a frontier for trade in the West and Central African sub-region. As a matter of fact, it is the corridor to 5 other countries within the West African sub-region, beginning with our most proximate neighbor here, Benin Republic, then to Togo, to Ghana, to Ivory Coast, to Senegal. But it also serves as a trade corridor for transit goods to Niger Republic, Chad, Cameroon, and sometimes traders that traverse this corridor also travel as far as Gambia, up to the Central African Republic, and other countries even beyond the sub-region. Now, what is the importance of this corridor? It is as old as Nigeria and even beyond, because it's the same trade corridor that our forefathers traded in during the Songhai and the Dahomey empires, the Ghana empire of those days. It's this same trade corridor that has evolved to become what we now call the Abidjan-Lagos corridor. So the importance is what the ECOWAS captured in the ECOWAS protocol for movement of goods and persons across the sub-region, which is adjudged and is supposed to be free. The border, as you may have known, was closed sometime in 2019, and that border closure was as a result of several factors. First, it was closed as a result of a trade dispute between Nigeria and Benin Republic. We couldn't manage our trade policies amicably. Then next was the Ebola virus. Sometimes then we have the COVID pandemic. Then we also have another trade issue that led to the setting up of the Joint Border Patrol Team from the Office of National Security Advisor. All these culminated in several closures of this border. The last one lasted for close to 3 years. And then sometime in 2022, the border was opened, and the people here are still smattering from that border closure.
Seme border is currently open, but the border is a shadow of itself. Ekene Onyebuchi and Bisiru Lasisi are both licensed custom agents at the Seme border. They're worried about the current situation at the border and what it means for their line of business.
Actually, everything is down presently. We are doing nothing. Had it been like before, you won't even have me to talk to. But now, when we come to this place, we do one or two things and go back home. Nothing is working actually. You can see. Check the environment. You can't see anybody with any documents. We are not working, honestly. Like the major challenge we have about the import is the charges from Benin Republic. They are using their tariff on us. They made a promise if Benin Republic can cooperate in bringing their tariff down, taking transit charge as it's supposed to be, things will pick up here. I'm appealing to federal government to take a look of this place. We can't have all this facility, customs in place, immigration, everything in place here. Even the scan, we have scanners here, but nothing is working. We even have bonded terminal recently here, but no job due to high cost. Normally, if Benin Republic is taking their normal transit charge, it can be easy for us to pay up our duty and move. But here, if you try this place, you will see that this place is still very expensive. Coupled with the current exchange rate, like the exchange rate is outrageous. Today as I'm talking to you, SEFA have gone up to 1,485 to 1,000 naira. It's so disheartening. I don't know why our government is keeping calm, watching this thing happening. Here it's Cotonou SEFA at 5 years ago was 420, 430, 430 to their 1,000 SEFA. Now, even as I'm talking to you, 485, the next minute you will see that it's changing. So honestly, we are crying, we are begging government to come to our aid, because if this thing continue, I don't know how it will be.
The thing is, the border of those days is different from the border now. In those days, the business activity of the border is flourishing. If you look behind you, there's a park there, where then you see a lot of trucks in hundreds, thousands, with a lot of goods, cargo in them. But that was when the border closure does not happen. The moment they close the border, before the border opening, there are so many policies and regulations that prevented the coming of goods through Cotonou till tomorrow. Why have I said so? There are so many bottlenecks. Before we bring our containers, we unstuff them. We unstuff them in Cotonou into the trucks. Maybe 2-3 containers then. But today you cannot unstuff. You pick your container the way it is from third-party countries, China, UK, and so on and so on. That is how you have to take it onto the terminal over there. And one container to one truck. And we have a lot of bottlenecks in Cotonou. The bottlenecks that have to do with levies, which is outside the transit regulation. For transit regulation, you pay 0.5 on transit goods between Republic of Benin to Nigeria, since they are not using those cargoes in Republic of Benin. Those cargoes will definitely be transited into Nigeria to the border, where they are coming to pay the normal regulated duty on those things. But in Cotonou alone, with what we call the levy they put there, a container of 40 foot will end up paying close to 2.5 million naira today. Even more than that, because the exchange rate is still going up. Now, when you pay that, that has nothing to do with the par that you declare your goods, that I am bringing this. We have one ruling par house in Nigeria that issue par for Tinkan, Apapa, Port Harcourt, wherever you are going, provided the item is the same. So when you pass through Cotonou now and get your par, pay your normal duty according to the type of goods you are bringing, and do all the logistics from this Cotonou to Lagos market, trade fair, or wherever as the case may be, definitely you cannot break even. You end up paying about 2 million naira above what can bring out your container from Lagos port. That already, there's no importer that will see that and still want to patronize this other side. But that is all because Cotonou levy us unnecessary payment. Today, they are collecting 7.5% with other charges, which is supposed to be just administrative charge of 0.5%. So that is why clearing goods towards this side now is so expensive. And that is why you see the border the way you are seeing it. No cargo, not all these trucks you are seeing here, they are all what do we call them? ECOWAS goods.
The agents are not the only one bearing the brunt. Agencies of government are also concerned.
Besides government institutions like us suffering from the inconsistencies of border operation here as a result of some of these developments I've highlighted earlier, I will give you a typical example. Hitherto before now, revenue generated from Seme border here used to be in the neighborhood of 22 billion annually. But now, this command is expected to generate revenue of about 1.96 billion, which is just what would have been collected in 2 months before the border closures and before these activities. So you can see the huge impact this is having on even those of us who are government agencies. But I also feel more for the border communities. Why do I say so? The behavior of activities that used to occur here, as you referred to, generated income and business for the border community. I will give you an instance. One driver delivering truckload of cargo from any of the countries within the sub-region across this corridor to Lagos, Jibia, Castina, Ebado, any other place they're going to, generates whole lots of economic activities. Either the driver will have a haircut, or he will eat, or he will buy pharmaceutical products from the local pharmacies around, or he will sleep in a little hotel around here, or he will want to change his wares and want to visit a local fashion boutique around, all this stopped. And it affected the economy of the border community. The youths of the community that were either loaders, or were guides, or were motorboys, or were helping people to wash their vehicles or stuff like that, lost such opportunities. Those that engaged as interpreters lost such opportunities. So it's a whole lot of loss for everybody. Now, what is the implication of that? There is this general discontent among the community people. For those that are not enlightened, who are not brought to the understanding of what brought about their situation, they tend to blame the government. And the implication is that there is this disloyalty, in quotes. People may want to take to crime to fend for themselves, feeling abandoned, in quotes, by the same government they think caused their challenge. So what we are trying to do is to manage such situation.
When the border was flourishing, you see organizer, pure water, petty thing, like the woman going up. If it was in those days, she would have finished selling what she's selling. She must have gone back and bring another one. But what she's carrying now, I'm sure, is still on her head. She has not finished selling. So the thing affected all this border community business people here and there. A lot of them that do labor work, they don't have job to do again. So they become jobless. We have cried to the government several times that now that the border is closed, they should find something for the community. If they can do that, meanwhile, before the border will be open for us, we will know how to manage. But the fact is that the border community, they are suffering. They are really, really suffering. Like I said, even the driver on second-hand vehicles, then when the second-hand vehicle normally pass here, you see driver, they will come when they get the thing ready, they will enter the car, they will get to Lagos, they will drop it, they will come back, you know, things, life were going on. They are members of the community. But now, I am telling you, the community is suffering a lot.
One of such is Asipa, a community that sits at the fringe of the sea, blessed with vast water bodies and coconuts. The traditional head of the community says his people have little or nothing to show for the community's nearness to the border.
This is our community. Many things we get here: fish, coconut, and cassava. Everything is okay with us here. Before we would use. And now, with development come, with border come, nothing like that. And again, no concrete school. And this thing, factory no day, no anything. Like that coconut now, the oil or everything with the at body of coconut is good to use. So if we get like a company, big company, we then we put it for this village, it's okay for us. No any problem, no fighting. Land itself day where we go put. If the government, if he remember us to bring all those things, and again, and government, when they try to bring bank, big bank for us, we go fit borrow people money where they go take they do work for this community, because we now here that they collect the money go, custom they generate money for government always, so make them don't forget us. You understand? Before we go do fishing. Now, that right now, not before. Before we are using canoe, small canoe. Now, if the government will remember us to give us big canoe and the engine, we are with a net. So it's okay. People must go to the sea, bring better thing, Not say fish no dey. Among the equipment wey they go use, no power, no any work. Yes, and planting coconut. You understand now? We are planting coconut. We do everything. Coconut day. Always we try. We must go to the fishing. You understand now?
The dwindling fortune on one hand, the long-standing challenges on the other. Seme border is a 30-minute drive from Badagry on the coastal road between Lagos and Cotonou. Badagry, the neighbouring town to the border, is known for tourism because of its beautiful coastline, slave trade relics, and other historical interests.
I'm the Zonik Bedudugan of Badagry Kingdom. Zonik Bedudugan means a local minister of tourism.
Now, recreational businesses are even struggling, and that's evident at this facility owned by the Lagos State government.
Badagry have a very good record when we are talking about tourism. But presently, maybe because of some factors like our bad roads, the situation we find ourselves in the country, like when you are talking about tourism, the roads have to be good, power have to be stable, technology in place, hotel facilities, tour guides and everybody have to be at alert. But what is disturbing Badagry tourism is so many. Like we have the bad road, we have several checkpoints, the police, the immigration, the customs, the planned quarantine. I mean, that's too much. There's no tourists, international tourists or local tourists that need to be stopped for so long. Like you are traveling to Badagry, first of all, you rattle with the bad road. Secondly, the checkpoint, from one checkpoint, within a kilometer, you can see about 3-5 checkpoints. It's uncalled for. So that has been a disturbing factor to tourism around this area. In the 90s or early 80s, 90s, we have a lot of tourists, international tourists, people from the Caribbean, especially African American, because of the history, Badagry history, you know, the slave trade and whatever, the first in everything, first story building, first primary school, first listing, clean beach, and what have you. But nowadays, we rarely see those tourists because of all these factors as just mentioned.
Wonderful landscape, the birds chirping. What exactly is the problem here?
We, as a manager of this place, we are awaiting the government. If we could come to round table and government give us years, we sign in some years of management so that we can manage this place effectively. Then we will draw our partners. There's some organization that's interested in such natural environment like this. Like we have children's session here. We have just few things for children to enjoy themselves. Like that, the swing there, okay. The swing there, like the ladder here, okay. Like few things, you know. This place needs to be loaded with children playing, modern day children playing equipment, not this metal one that can injure children. So we are going to change the face of this place if government could give us that chance. But the place needs renovation. All the gazebo, run gazebo, they are falling apart. They are falling apart. We have beautiful walkway.
But there has to be an agency of government in charge of parts of this. And
yes.
What is their response to some of the steps and efforts that you have made since you started managing? You
know, Lagos is a big place. Yeah. And Lagos State government is trying their best. But maybe Badagry is so far to the city, or I just don't know. Maybe we are not part of Lagos State. I don't know, because several letters has been written to the agency in charge of this place, but there's no reply or no action. There's no concrete action.
Policies, actions and inactions of government have spiral and far-reaching effects for those who trade or live near this border. Bringing the border back to life will mean restoring their livelihood, a reality they would love to relive.